Hi, this is Joe Common Fish. In January 2024, I posted two videos about self-rescue in cold water. The first video includes my preparations of the kayak and equipment, and the second video includes my self-rescue practice. These two videos are closely related. Some contents of one video are referenced by the other video. Therefore, please also watch the first part titled Self-Rescue in Cold Water Part 1 Preparation, posted on the same day. I do appreciate the fellow kayakers who took videos on their valuable fishing days. The contents of the videos are based on my experience in winter fishing at Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. On this part 2 video, I want to share my self-rescue practice for the cold water at CBBT, Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, in January and February. The topics on the video are your action after a self-rescue in cold water, specs of a demo kayak, 3 typical methods of riding a capsized kayak, self-rescue practice, conclusion. By the way, here is the information about the actual fishing water, CBBT. The current can be 2.5 knots during the flow tide. I can be 3 plus miles off the shore alone. What will you do after a successful self-rescue? Going home or resume fishing? On the picture, please find the leashes and pull ropes. If your choice is going home, the self-rescue can be less cumbersome. Nothing is more precious than life. Seriously, you don't even need a fish stringer or the paddle leash if your kayak is a hobby. In my case, I resume fishing, so everything is leashed. 2 rods, 1 net, 2 pull ropes, a pump, fish stringer, and grab lines. Fish swim around, so the fish stringer got entangled with other leashes often in the past. Let's talk about riding a capsized, large and loaded kayak. The standard method works well with medium-sized kayaks such as Hobby Revolution, but not for large and loaded kayaks. Grab a rim and pull. This is my first option, using grab line or duct-taped guard rails. However, I don't quite recommend it. Pull rope is highly recommended. It is a freestanding cooler. It won't be fastened on the kayak. It comes with a homemade latch. Let's review the setup on the demo kayak Hobby Outback. I practiced self-rescue with these installed. I have researched a marine radio on the PFD. I also leash myself to the kayak. Yak leash or man leash must be attached or detached very easily during the self-rescue. All other tackle are leashed. For the first day practice, I didn't prepare the pull ropes because I haven't had issues in riding the capsized kayaks in rear. Here is the first day practice in Rudy. The first option, pull one side rim while pushing up the other side rim, hasn't been my option for my Outback. So I have developed my way of the second option. Reach and grab the rim and pull. I'm pretty good at this, so I didn't prepare the pull ropes.
What happened?
Went out. Think
Is
the
it on?
battery. You're good. Okay.
So I'm gonna
Please
flip
note
this
that
way.
I'm grabbing the duct taped guardrail. I forgot to demonstrate the second option using the grab line. This method is a sure thing for me in choppy water. Hold the grab line from the bow or stern. Move toward the center of the kayak. Please notice that the tightness of the grab line was set for this purpose too. Once I reach the center, I pull the grab line and flip the kayak back upright. I found that I couldn't complete the reentry at
Man,
the first attempt.
haven't done
I
this.
struggled. Unlike a year ago, I lost strength and speed. I forgot the grip points on the kayak. I forgot continuous kicking during the reentries. There was 3 quarts of water in the wader.
Boy. It wasn't that easy that I thought. I'm getting old.
I have a suggestion. So when you capsize,
Yeah,
you go to the other side and throw it the line,
yeah.
and then you go up and you put your weight on what side, and then you pull it. It's easy.
Okay.
That's how you flip the easy way other also.
Do you have a few minutes? I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
So, I have a rope. Okay, I have a rope tied up on one side, so I'm gonna flip it the other way. It's the kayak.
Put your knee on it. Put your knee. There you go. Put your knee.
Putting a knee against the
Yep.
kayak
Put your knee.
was very difficult.
Hey. Good job.
So
though.
I pulled the rope very hard.
I don't know if that's a good suggestion. So
That was a very good suggestion.
yeah.
Before I go any further, I want to point out that this is the actual water during the flood tide at CBBT. So when I get dunked in rear, I will hold on to the grab line for 2-4 minutes until I pass the churning zone. On day 2 at Kiptopik, Virginia, I fastened the cooler to the kayak to see the impact of the fastened cooler. I put 15 pounds of ice, bait, and food in the cooler. I also put 15 pounds of tackle and a battery in the hull.
This stringer and the rope got tangled up. So this will happen in real life, you know. Toss it. So when I go around, I use my grab line so I don't lose the kayak. This is the one I didn't have last time. It's so much easier. So I have to kick it, you know.
I noticed that the kayak was very unstable. Why was the kayak very unstable during reentry? Here's why. There was 6-7 gallons of water in the hull, and 3 gallons of water got into the cooler. The center of the gravity of the kayak shifted to the entry side of the kayak due to the moving water inside the hull. Here is the reason why so much water got into the kayak through the bow hatch. Because of the cooler, the stern was lifted above the surface. This made the bow hatch nosedive. The drawing shows a typical capsized kayak. Usually, a capsized kayak floats flat, not tilted. The bow hatch is about an inch below the surface. The water leaks to the kayak is minimal as designed. This second drawing shows a capsized kayak that is tilted. A mounted cooler or balloon wheels will lift the stern. The bow hatch can be several inches below the surface. The nosedived bow can cause a serious water leak into the kayak. So please test the water leak if you are fastening the balloon wheels in winter. Day 3 in Rudy. For this winter, I wanted to do more practice in Rudy. This time, the same cooler wasn't fastened. I can find the drifting coolers 200-300 yards away.
So I put the weight on it so I can just do this.
For riding a capsized kayak, the second option, grab a far side rim by the grab line and pull, is my primary technique. However, I'm practicing the pull rope technique.
Wow, very good.
I stayed in the water for 4 or 5 minutes purposely, mimicking the duration from the churning zone to the calm zone at CBBT.
This is one way to do it. But when I climb up, this thing catches here.
Right.
So I'm gonna do one more time. I'm gonna try to get in the rear.
Okay.
Someone said rear entry is easier than the front.
Inside. Okay.
Rear is easier.
Very good.
Rear is easier because it's low.
That's right. Narrow too.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna
Less.
crawl down.
Now go get a towel and dry off and go home.
Yeah, it's floating over itself. I'm gonna pick it up later. The important thing is my rear is clear. There's nothing sticking up, so I can use my rear for the re-entry. If I can make this, I can try that.
That's right.
Before the more practice, I'm draining the water from kayak and the wader. Now you know why I wear a waist-high wader. I practiced more until I found all good grab points on the kayak for the re-entry. I lost the marine radio while practicing. I practiced until I felt comfortable for one more winter fishing. There are a few things to be changed or improved. In summary, now I can re-enter from the sides or the stern. I added a new grab line for the stern re-entry. I moved the marine radio up by 6 inches so it won't interfere with the re-entry. I added 2 new pull ropes for riding the capsized Outback. I hope I covered all components of self-rescue in cold water. Remember, this video is part 2. Please watch part 1 titled Self-Rescue in Cold Water Part 1 Preparation, posted on January 19th, 2024. Thank you for watching. Happy fishing!